guest pulls double duty as a medical examiner on Law & Order SVU, as well as District Attorney Jessica Griffin on daytime's As the World Turns. Take a look.
You are an old-fashioned guy, Ben Harris. I think the word is gallant. You have a deep, deep kindness in you. You have a kind of patience that doesn't seem to exist in this world anymore. And I should know, because you have been so incredibly patient with me.
Please welcome the very busy Tamara Tunie.
Nice to see you. How are you? So
good.
You are busy, huh?
I'm a busy girl.
Yeah. Now, you play a lawyer, district attorney, and a medical examiner.
Correct.
Do you ever find yourself in one of the scenes using the wrong language, kicking into your lawyer language as opposed to your doctor language?
You just saw the clip from our wedding. Well, on the honeymoon, you know, my husband, he kind of stretched out on the bed, and I pulled out a scalpel and began to open him. I was like, oh, wrong show, wrong show.
Right.
No, I never confuse them. You know, they're two very distinct characters.
The medical examiner, now it's just a great show. I mean,
thank you.
I just love the whole Law & Order franchise. It's
really
wonderful.
Proud of it.
But having been a prosecutor in an earlier life and having worked with medical examiners, there's a lot of technical jargon going on there.
Absolutely.
And you kind of just spin it right off.
Yeah, well, you know, we have an advisor on this show who actually was a prosecutor in the DA's office who worked with the medical examiner of New York, and she advises us. Our executive producer is Dr. Neil Bayer, so he has all the medical jargon under his belt. And also, I had to go out and buy my own Stedman's medical dictionary so I could do my own research, and, you know, and every now and again, I'd get the script, and I'd look it up, and I'd do my research, and I'd call the doctor and go, oh, this is what it is.
So in other words, you know what you're saying.
I do know what I'm saying.
Well,
I always know what I'm saying.
Well, you grew up with morticians, right?
And then there's that.
I think that's an important footnote.
Yeah, both my parents. My dad was a mortician when he and my mom got married. And then when we were children, she went to mortuary school, got certified. And so they both had a funeral home together, Tunie Funeral Home in Homestead, Pennsylvania. Still going strong.
Wow, good for that. Oh, my God.
I imagine certainly helped you with your career, but did a lot of your friends come over to visit you guys when you were little? Or are they like, we love you, Tamara, but let's go someplace else to hang out?
And some didn't, you know.
You were popular on Halloween, I bet.
We were very popular on Halloween. Actually, my mom did kind of a house of horrors in the funeral home one year. That was a lot of fun. You know, my brother was lying in the casket, you know. That was a lot of fun. But I brought a girlfriend over one time, and I'm sure she'll remember this, Alice Morton. Hi, Alice. And I said, you know, you want to see the morgue? And she said, yeah. So I took her down into the basement, because it was below the funeral home. And we got to the door, and the light switch was hooked up also to the ventilation system. So I opened the door and I flipped the switch, and the vents went boom, 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 and she screamed. And I turned around and all I saw was a cloud of dust. She was like, in the wind.
Oh, now, I recognize you from The Devil's Advocate, too.
Ah, yes.
Yes,
movie,
the Al
Devil's
Pacino,
Advocate.
Keanu Reeves.
Al Pacino.
And
Thank you.
now, you auditioned. You're a great actress.
Yes.
But I hear you had to come in and do something that you don't usually have to do.
Well, yes, this was a special situation. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie, but I think a few have. Thanks. My character in the film plays the next door neighbor, and I kind of call her the cross between like the Ruth Gordon and Rosemary's Baby kind of character. And so, you know, so basically I'm there just to kind of torture Charlize Theron, you know. And in this one scene, we're in the dressing room, and we're disrobing because we're women, we're changing clothes, we're putting on clothes, and I have to acknowledge my boob job and how I have the best boob doctor in the world, and look what a perfect job he's done. So in the film, you know, I actually take off my shirt and admire my breasts.
This is right before you turn into a demon,
This is right before I turn into the demon. So very close to getting the part. It's between me and one other woman. And the casting director calls my agent, and my agent calls me and says, the director loves you, you know, you're so perfect and right on, but there's one critical thing. He needs to see your breasts. And I thought, oh, God. You know, because I'm thinking, okay, now if I go and audition, and I do the scene, you know, which was, you know, very much integral to the scene, and I don't get the job, then I'll feel smarmy, you know.
Right.
But
if I do get the job, then I'll feel great.
Yeah.
You got it?
So it was a dilemma.
But you got it based on talent. Let's make sure everybody understands that.
But also,
and look pretty good.
I do have really nice boobs.
Yes, you do.